Perfect. So again, my name is Alex, and I am one of the co-founders of Your Biz Tank. We're a real estate virtual assistant company, and we're not your average virtual assistant company. We are focusing solely on marketing your business. So we don't do transaction coordination, we don't do any paperwork. We just focus on marketing you to get you more business. So that's why you're here today, right? You're here to figure out what you need to be doing to market your business, which it seems easy, right? It seems like an easy thing to do. Oh, I just need to, get more business. I just need to put together this marketing piece. I just need to post something to Facebook. But there's a lot more to it than that. And that's why you're here. You're going to be learning a lot. We're going to walk you through, essentially, it's what we do for our agents that we work with. So we're just putting it into a 4-part series so that we can help you figure out what it is you need to do, how to connect those dots, and to what we're calling the 8 pillars of real estate marketing. So my computer's a little bit slow today. I think it's on overload with the slides in the meeting. So hopefully it'll go to the second slide in a second. Perfect. So again, I know why you're here. I actually used to be a full-time agent. That's how I got into the business. That is how this business was started. I know why you're here. And it's one of 3 reasons. And that's kind of what I want to start with. You're either here because you know you need to be online, but you have no idea where to be or how to be or what you should be doing. Or you have a few things in place and maybe you're not sure if it's the right thing, or maybe you should be doing something else, or what you need to be doing, but you have at least started somewhere. Or you're doing stuff, you're out there, you're, using tools, you're using services, or you're doing it yourself and you're not seeing results. So what are you doing wrong? So I want to know, and look at your screen in just a second because I'm going to pop a poll so I can see kind of where you guys are at. I want to know, what category do you fall under? Because this will also help us, or help me, walk you guys through what we go through in this course. So go ahead and take a second to answer. Yes, or 1, 2, or 3. Which one do you fall under? All right, almost everybody's voted. I'll wait a couple more seconds. Oh, we got a few more votes. Perfect. All righty. All right, I'm going to close the poll. All right, so here are your results. So some of you say that you need to be online, only 13%. Most of you are saying that you have a few things in place, but you're not sure what you need. That's perfect. And if you are doing things and you're not seeing results, no matter what category you fall under, you're gonna learn a lot from this 4-part series. I promise you. Like I said, we designed it based off of essentially what we do for our agents. So, okay, let me close that out. So you should see my slides again. Awesome. Okay, so the next thing, I want to kind of lay out the next 4 weeks. And I know this was a struggle for me to figure out, okay, should we just cram it all into one, or maybe we should do just a 2-part series, or maybe it'll be like an hour-and-a-half webinar. But I stuck to my guns and I said 4 parts because there's a lot, and I want you guys to really take some stuff home and really be able to put the pieces together and learn what you need to learn, and do the things you need to do to really be successful. I don't want to waste your time and give you a whole bunch of bullet points of what you could be doing. I want to actually help you walk through this process because it's hard. I mean, it's the slogan that we've had about this webinar is, it's not rocket science, it's strategy. And that's so true. And so if we can help you get a strategy together from the ground up, that's where the magic happens, right? If we can just lay it out, it'll be so much easier to figure out the rest. So that's what we're going to go over today. We're going to establish your goals, and we're going to start somewhere. We're going to start with the basics. So I'm going to give you your starting point today. And yes, there's one thing that you'll need to do. I guess we'll call it homework, but it's not really homework. You probably already have most of it done. But there's one thing that you'll need to do before we continue on to the next 3 weeks. But then week 2, we're going to dive right into the beef, right into the hub of everything, which is your website. And then how to get more online exposure and what you should be doing to get there. Also, how to use your business to get more business. And that might sound really simple, but there's a whole strategy that will teach you to connect those dots with everything else. And then the last week, we're going to help you really, really hone in on all of the things to connect everything together so your marketing strategy is a flowing, well oiled machine. And it can be that. I promise you, it can be. Okay, so today, what you're going to learn today is I'm going to help you understand how to market your business. Absolutely. That is a given, right? What I'm not going to do, and I want to make sure this is clear because this would take a lot longer than the four-part session. I'm not going to teach you how to build a website or how to post to Facebook or, how to write a blog and post it to your website. We're not going to show you how. We're going to show you what you should be doing and a little bit of how. We'll show you some examples, absolutely. But to show you specifically one part of this, that could definitely, it would take a little bit longer. So the how you guys may or may not know. And if you have questions, absolutely ask me, because we'll have some Q&A sessions at the end. I'll save about 5 or 10 minutes for that, or even longer if we need to. But I am going to help you understand how to market your business and how to connect those dots. Okay, so I want to remind you that this is your time. You're spending, an hour with me today and 3 hours, 3 more hours the rest of the month. So you can learn this. So I want you to really absorb this and use me. Ask me any questions you have, and ask it even if you know kind of what the answer is, or even if you don't, because all your questions will also help other people on the webinar. And we are packed. We have a packed webinar today. We are to the max, which is awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking the time. I know now is a busy time for a lot of agents. Even the agents we work with, we don't really talk to recently because they're so busy. So we're just working and bebopping in the background, and they're, out selling their houses. So awesome. Okay. So let's dive into it. But before we get into the 8 pillars, we're not just going to dive in and go straight through all 8. We need to start at ground level, right? We need to have that starting point, and that's the purpose of this webinar. And so let's start with this. And you may or may not have done this already, but I'm going to make you do it right now. So I want to know, who is your target client? Do you want to work with buyers? Do you want to work with sellers? Who is your ideal perfect client? Or what are your goals this year for working with that specific person, right? So who is your target client? This is where you pull out your pad and your pen, or you pull out your iPad and you start making notes. And I'm also going to email you guys a worksheet so that you can also do this as well later. But I encourage you to do it now so you can get the most out of this next hour. I also want to know where your target market is. And we typically like our agents to keep it to 5. So if you're working more than 5 target cities or 5 target clients, or maybe you're not cities, maybe you're a county person, so you work 5 counties. And I know that might sound crazy for the people who have big counties in your area, but we do have a couple agents who work counties. So it depends on your area. So do what's best for you, but I want you to pick 5 cities, 5 type of clients, 5 neighborhoods, 5 counties, whatever that is. Pick 5 of each and go ahead and jot those down. The next thing is, I want to know, do you currently work your sphere? And I'm actually going to make this a poll question because I want to know who is taking advantage of this and who isn't. I also want to know how you work your sphere. So go ahead and look at your screen. I want to know how you work your sphere, and we'll come back to these results. So let me know if you don't do anything now, or maybe you send them an email, whether it's once a year, once a month, whatever that is. Do you do print marketing? Do you send them, a monthly newsletter, or do you send them, a holiday card, or maybe on the anniversary that they purchased their house, maybe you send them that? Or maybe you ask them out to lunch, or you have actually, I know a couple agents who do like a client appreciation happy hour or event at their office or holiday party, which could be really fun. So, what do you do? Okay. So, a lot of you have voted. I'll close it in just a couple of seconds. Ooh, almost everybody's voted. Awesome. Okay. So here are the results, and we're going to come back to this in just a second. But some of you do nothing. Most of you are emailing, and then it's kind of split evenly between doing nothing, print marketing, and in person. So I want you to kind of take that mental note of what you answered and kind of know what's working for you. We're going to come back to all of this in just a second. So let's go back to the slide. So do you work your sphere now? Who is your client and who is your target market? Make sure you have all of that written down and noted. And I also want to know how you're going to gauge your success this year. Some people just want to, they don't have a number on it. They just want to know they want to be busy, right? You just want to be busy, whatever that means, whatever. Or some people want to have 120 closings on the dot. They had 110 last year. They want to do 120 this year. Or maybe you want to do 25 million. I know we have some crazy agents out there who want to hit 30 million, whatever that looks like. What is your goal? I want you to write down a number or a feeling or volume number or a closing number, whatever. I want you to write it down, and this is going to be where we start. Okay. Okay. Give me one sec. I want to make sure you guys can see my screen properly. You guys can see my slides, right? I want to make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. It's not showing me for some reason. Okay. So just let me know if you can't see my slides. Okay, I also want to know if you know the answers to these questions. My past or current business mainly comes from where? And typically, when I ask this question, some agents don't know. So if you don't know, I want you to make a pledge to yourself to start recording that today, or even go back through the last 4 months, which is crazy that we're already in April. But I want you to go back and see, where your current business has come from this year alone. I want you to be able to record this. If you haven't, start now. If you have, kind of jot down where your business mainly comes from. Is it from broker leads? Is it from Trulia? Is it from Facebook, or is it from past clients? Where do you get your business from? I also want to know what you do now and does it work? So just kind of write down, what you're doing, and maybe go back through that list and circle what's working. So let's say, maybe you have a website, maybe you do some farming, maybe you have a Facebook business page, maybe you spend some time cold calling, maybe you do some drip campaigns to leads, whatever it is, write down what you're doing. And you can even just do this later too. I know that could be a big list for some of you. So write down what you're doing and circle what's working. I want you to know what's currently working so you know what you need to change moving forward. And that's what we're going to help you walk through as well. I want to know if you currently have a cohesive marketing strategy. So, what is it that you're doing now? Is it cohesive? Is it something, that is flowing? Your website looks consistent with your Facebook page, what you're posting and the same message looks the same. Is it cohesive, or is it just kind of random? What is it? And do you have a marketing budget? And I'm shocked when I ask this question to some agents, because they don't necessarily know, what they should be spending, which is fine because there's so much you can do. You don't know how much it costs or what you should be paying, or if your number that you have in your head that you want to spend on marketing is realistic, all of those things. But just kind of write down, what your marketing budget is. And I will tell you, I don't know if anybody else does this. So if you do, go ahead and pop yes or no in the chat box. But what I used to do and what my team used to do is when we get a commission check, we would take a chunk of it and it would go to the team, right? And the team would pay for marketing. So we never really had to worry about anything. If we needed new business cards, if we needed to do anything, the team would fund it. But I know for individual agents, that's a different story. So do you do that after every commission check? Do you take a chunk of your commission check and maybe put it in savings, or maybe you spend it on yourself and spend the next chunk on putting it back into your business? Do you do something like that now? I'm just curious. Yes or no in the chat box. We have some yeses. Oh, hi, Joe. No, a lot of no's. Whoa. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Interesting. It's always mixed. It's always kind of split down the middle of what, people actually do. But I want you to kind of start thinking about what that number might look like for you, what you're comfortable spending marketing your business to get more business. For some of you, that might mean a huge number because you have a huge volume and you have a team maybe you need to provide for, or maybe it's a smaller number if you're just a solo agent and all you need to worry about is yourself. And that number might even fluctuate throughout the year, depending on what it is you're doing. The last thing is, how much do you spend on marketing per month? I want you to kind of write down and kind of tally up everything you're doing, how much it's costing you. All of these things are going to help you put into perspective your current standing. And that's what we're doing. The two things that we just did in these two slides is I want to know, and I want you to write down what your goals are for this year. Then the next thing is to figure out what you've been doing, what you're currently doing, what's not working, so that you can match that up with your goals and what you need to stop spending time on, and money for that matter. So all of these questions, I'm going to email them to you in a PDF form. But I want you to write them down and kind of just start to think about it. And it's just going to get, more clean and more precise when I email you that PDF. Okay. Your first task is to do just that. So when you get this, before we go into next week's webinar, I want you to know and have a solid understanding. Oh, we have a lot more no's. I just scrolled down and saw all the no's on that marketing budget. But I want you to have a clear understanding of what it is all of those things before we move forward. That's really, really, really important. Okay. All right, I see some people have their hand raised. It's for some reason not letting me see what your question is. But go ahead and if you have any questions, you can pop that into the chat box, and periodically I can stop and ask you guys. I can go through your questions. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. It's like a technical difficulty. I'm on a Mac today. I'm wondering if that might be what it is. Okay, so I want to know, are you guys ready? Because this is where it all starts. We kind of got the starting point and the foundation of, building everything off of those answers that you have. But now this is the second part to that starting point. And it might seem easy to some of you. It might seem like something you're just been dragging behind you and haven't really done yet. It might even be something that you already have done. But this is the next stepping stone to completing the 8 pillars of real estate marketing. And it is branding. So I want to know if you guys have started branding, if you have a logo, whatever it is. I want to know if you feel like you've developed your brand. And what does that even mean? Because for some people, that might mean, oh, I just have a logo and my picture. That's my branding. Or for some people, it might mean, their flyer looks exactly, similar to what their business card is and their Facebook page and their website. You can get as crazy as you need to, and you probably, the more the better. I mean, you can't overdo branding. Maybe you can. But you can underdo it. Absolutely. So I want to kind of share with you where I'm going with this. And I want you to look at your screen, and I'm just going to give you 3 seconds to see each logo. And I want you to see, what pops into your head in those 3 seconds when you see this logo. What feeling do you have? What do you immediately think about? What kind of vibe do you get from that logo? I want you to look at your screen. Are you guys ready? All right, here it goes. I'm going to go a little fast, 3 seconds for each logo. Here it goes. And another. And another. I'm hungry. And another. Another. We're going to keep going. A few more. What do you feel? What do you think about? What does that brand represent? And I know I didn't show all of the real estate companies. I just shoved random ones on here. So what do you get? I mean, I hope that exercise, made you start to think about what you maybe want people to think about your brand. A brand isn't just, it could be anything. I mean, if I kind of go back to that slide, I mean, this is a silver apple, but it means so much more, right? It means so much more. It's simple, it's simplistic, it's clean, it's modern, it's a ton of things, right? Even Starbucks, well, let's go back to Chipotle. I'm hungry after just seeing that because I can just taste the burrito, all those flavors, that atmosphere. You just get it when you look at these logos because these companies have done it properly. Not if I didn't include it doesn't mean that they didn't, but just kind of random things that I thought of putting onto that page. Okay, so when it comes to your branding, I want you to twist this into your business. And that's kind of what we do. I mean, whenever we come up with anything, we kind of just twist modern, successful, known strategies for any marketing, and we twist them so real estate agents can capitalize on those strategies, those theories, those tasks, everything. So that's what we're helping you do right now. We're taking a general marketing strategy and twisting it into how real estate agents can use it and excel at it. So let's go over a few things when it comes to branding. It should absolutely be consistent. Your website should definitely have the same colors and pictures and feeling and slogan as your business card. Your business card should have the same everything, feeling, colors, slogan as your flyer. And your flyer should be the same as everything. I mean, everything needs to be connected, it needs to be consistent. It should absolutely represent you. So, whatever that is, it could be a color, it could be a picture, it could be a slogan, it could be your picture. It needs to represent you. So, that's why it's really important to make sure that you are doing the things we first did, in the first couple of slides, figuring out who it is you want to work with. Where do you want to be? Who are you? And what do you want to accomplish when it comes to marketing? And so that wrapped into figuring out your branding is your absolute starting point. This is going to get a whole lot easier once all this homework is done. Then the rest of these webinars will be cake. It's just implementing what you already are coming up with. So it should obviously be recognizable, right? Let me just ask you this. I mean, when you see a Remax balloon, you know what that means Remax. When you see the KW, their new logo, you know that that means Keller Williams. So what else do you see when you're driving down a street and you see somebody who has maybe a different color sign, or that same pop of logo, or that same face, or even a name? A name is absolutely a brand option. So when you drive down the street and you see a sign in the yard, or when you are going to a networking event and you see somebody's face, I mean, that's a brand. You are your brand. So how are you going to make it consistent? How are you going to make it represent you? And how are you going to be recognizable, even like Target is with the 2 circles, right? The 2 red circles. I mean, that represents a lot and really spells out what Target is in 2 red circles. That's crazy, but you can do it, I promise you. So here we go. This is how easy branding is. Are you ready? Okay. So it could be a color. So for some agents, they don't really know what their brand is or what they want to focus on. So I have them pick a color, and it could be whatever color. I mean, I know a Remax agent who, their colors are red, white, and blue, but she likes tulips. So she has pink tulips, and that's her brand. So she has a black website with pink tulips across the top. I know another agent who her colors are orange, yellow, and brown, but her website doesn't really have those as the dominant colors. They're accent colors. And, she chose a picture. I'm going to show you a couple more examples, but it could really be whatever represents you and your brand. It could be a color. It could be a font. Whatever font you use on your website is used everywhere else in all of your marketing. It could be a logo. So if you have a team logo or your company logo or just your personal logo, it could be whatever. It could be a color, font, logo. It could even just be a slogan. Or it could be all four of these things. Or it could even just be your picture. I mean, often do I see agents just use their picture as their brand, which is totally fine. So how do you want to represent you? Who are you and what do you want people to know about you? So, kind of absorbing everything I just told you, I want you to kind of think about when the first thing that comes to your mind, if you already have a brand, that's fine. But I want you to kind of expand your mind on could you make it better? If you don't have a brand, what should your brand be? What color would you like to see? What font do you like? Do you have a logo? Do you want a logo? Do you even need a logo? Do you have a slogan now, or have you always been thinking that you want one? Go ahead and start jotting down some ideas, and then maybe even use your current picture or get a new picture, whatever you want to do. But I would start somewhere, and it could literally at least be a color. What color do you want to use to be consistent in all of your brand? The rest can be, as you want to implement it, but just make sure it's consistent, it represents you, and it's recognizable. All right. Do you guys have any questions on anything I've gone over so far? I know I'm throwing a lot at you, a lot to think about, but that's the challenge of this first webinar. I'm challenging you to think about what you want your business to be. Where do you want to take it? What level do you want to go to? And then that will help us go there. Okay. So let me take you to some examples. Again, here is that orange, orange, yellow, and brown logo. So this is a website that we just did, and she had this logo in her company colors, and she wanted us to create a modern website for her. And so we took those colors and created a brand. So it could be in a picture, a skyline picture, a neighborhood picture, a street picture. It could be in really anything. So you can kind of see that we've taken that orange and accented it through everything. Okay, so now you kind of see her brand on her website, right? This is how easy it can be to just pull it into another place to brand yourself. So on Facebook, we've taken that same logo, we've taken that same color scheme and the same picture from her website and brought it to Facebook. So it kind of exudes the same feeling, right? The same color palette, the same slogan, the same name, everything. So that's how easy this can be. And you can carry this as far as your marketing plan needs you to. So we can put this on YouTube, we can put this on Twitter, we can put this on Google Plus. We can put this on her flyers. We can put this inside her post, which you'll see, some orange popping out here and there. Orange here, orange, white. So you'll see all of this kind of tying in together. Again, consistency and making sure it's recognizable. So that pop of orange is a bright color. If you don't recognize that, then you might need glasses like I do. So, I mean, what are you going to do to kind of make your brand stand out? All right, let's go back to the slides. Okay. Do you guys have any questions, or do you guys have a brand that you have built that you want to share? If you've built a brand and you're proud of it, go ahead and pop a link maybe to your website or your Facebook page and kind of give me an example of your stuff. Or even if you know somebody that has an awesome brand and is successful with it, pop that into the chat box as well. I'm happy to share, with everybody what we've got. Okay, so again, I don't want this to be stressful. I want you to really take this in. And again, all of these things are simple, but I know when it comes down to figuring it out, because we're in the same boat, we're redoing our website, and it's hard. I can market anybody's business all day long, but when it comes down to the nitty gritty of what our slogan's going to be or how I want the website to be laid out, I really rely on somebody else's input to help, figure out what I want for my thing. I don't know. That's how I work. I don't know how you guys work, but if you need a second opinion, ask for it. Ask your broker, ask your office manager, or ask, a friend or another agent for their opinion. Ask a spouse or whoever. Ask somebody for their opinion. Hey, do you like this slogan? Is it too cheesy? Or is this color too bright? Or what do you think that looks like if I put this with that picture? I mean, ask around, because this is a core part of your business. Defining your outline of what your business is going, where it's going to go and how is very, very, it really needs to match with your branding. And so this is where we need to start with those two pieces. Okay, so before we move forward, I want to recap a little bit and kind of take it down a notch. I know I'm spitting a lot at you right now. So here we go. So far, we've covered setting your goals, and that's very important. I can't even stress enough how important that is. Creating a recognizable brand. And for whatever that means to you, it's whatever you want it to be. So just make sure that you are doing whatever you need to do for you to create your brand. So the next thing I want to go over is actually starting your marketing outline. So before we figure out what you should be doing, like I said, we need all those questions answered. Well, you do. You need all those questions answered for you to follow through the rest of these sessions. So now we're going to kind of start the process, right? We need to start your marketing outline. So I'm going to get you started. And then next week, we'll definitely carry this on and just keep building and building onto each element. And then at the end, all of these dots will be so connected, it'll just kind of pop into place, and your eyes are going to open wide up and think, oh, that was easy. I'm done. I'm done with my marketing plan. So let's get to it. So if you're on social media, if you like to tweet, or even if you want to post this, take a screenshot and post this to Facebook or save it for later, I want you to share this with anybody and everybody. I want you to remember that no matter what your goals are, you need to have your own online presence. And I highlighted your own because I have a lot of agents who come to us for help. And, they say, first question I ask is, what are your goals? What do you want out of online marketing? And they write, they tell me and we write them down. So let's just say, what do you want out of online marketing? I want more business. That's typically what they say, right? That's what anybody would say. I just want more business. I want a good ROI. So, okay, you want more business. Okay, so what website do you have? What's your website? And sometimes people say they don't have one, or sometimes people say they have a template website, or some people, have something different. They'll tell me what their website is, and that is the starting point to anything, which we'll get into. But a lot of times agents will kind of rely on a third party, whether it be a company or a broker, to give them everything that they need. And that's okay, but I want you to develop your own online presence. That might just mean your own Facebook page or your own website that you have on there, what you would like to see, or whatever that means. I want you to remember that you create your business, that you are an individual agent. You can absolutely, I encourage you to piggyback off of your brokerage and the exposure that your broker can get you. Piggyback off of the company that you're with. Absolutely capitalize on the perks of that. That's why you're there, right? You're with that company or that brokerage because they offer you something amazing. But I want you to add a third element to that, and that's your own online presence. And whatever that means will help you develop it. But I just want to make sure that I say this so that you can kind of keep that in the back of your head, is how are you going to develop your own strategy, your own presence online? So your focus areas are going to be in two places. I'm going to make this real easy for you. So I want you to focus on, one is your sphere. And the second thing, so the sphere is wrapped up into current clients, past clients, friends and family, and anybody who's going to refer you. So that's your sphere, right? So make sure that you define who is in your sphere, and that's going to be one of your focus areas, okay? So your sphere is your first focus area. The second one, this is really easy, is new business. So your focus areas are going to be, basically referrals, past, current, and friends and family, and anybody who will refer you. And your second focus is any new business that comes in. Any new from today on out, that's your second focus. How are you going to get new business? So your sphere and new business is going to be your two focus areas for the next 3 weeks, 4 weeks, today too. So kind of keeping everything in mind, let's kind of define this a little bit more. So your focus area for your sphere, what does that really entail? So I want you to kind of think about, how are you reaching your past clients? And I know we kind of touched base on this in the beginning, and a lot of you said by email, which is perfect, but is that working? Are you getting people opening your emails? Do you even know if they open them? Are they, genuinely interested in what you have to say? And your open rate will definitely tell you that. Do you have more success with your events, inviting them out to, an event sometime during the year? Is that more effective than email marketing? So how are you reaching them, and is it working? What are you doing to get more referrals? So when you're working your sphere, one of your focus areas, what are you doing to get more referrals from people who've worked with you or know your integrity, know that you're going to do a good job for them? How are you going to capitalize on the referrals and make them essentially your little mini me marketing team, right? So how are you going to do that? And are you getting a lot of repeat business? This will also kind of tell you if what you're doing is working. If you're not getting a lot of repeat business, then you're not capitalizing enough. And I can tell you that even though you might be doing a ton to market to your sphere, maybe you have the wrong sphere that you're marketing to, or whatever the case may be. But I want you to answer these 3 questions on your screen for your first focus area. Does anybody have any questions about this or have any statements? Let me know. Pop that in the chat box. All right. So your second one is any new business from here on out. So your focus area for new business, here are your 3 questions. Where do your leads come from right now? So do your leads come from, like I said, I want you to write this down and know the answer to this. Do your new leads turn into closings? This is a huge one, right? I mean, if you're getting, 10 new leads a day and you're only converting maybe 1 a week, I mean, is that really the best use of your time and the best use of, your marketing dollars? Maybe it is, because you convert 1 and they always close. So it just depends on, what that looks like to you. Is your ROI good enough for you? And do your new leads turn into closings? And do you have a steady flow of leads? I mean, because if you're going a huge dry spell with nothing, and your business is kind of lacking a little bit because of it, that's important to know. When does that happen? What time of year do you kind of lag on leads? What time of year do you really need to build up your marketing so you don't slow down during the winter months or whatever the case may be? So you need to know your past business, your sphere, and your new business. So kind of know both sides. We're going to take those 2 things into the entire marketing strategy. So before committing to anything, and this is huge, does it help you reach your sphere or generate new leads? Anytime you look at a new tool or look at something that posts awesome to Facebook, or maybe it's a new website, plugin that does something awesome. Before committing to anything or anyone or any tool or any strategy, ask yourself, does it help me reach my focus areas, which is my sphere, or generate new leads? If the answer is no, then you might want to take a step back and put it on hold. If the answer is, I don't know, it's worth a try, maybe you should take a step back and not, dive into it just yet. Or if the answer is yes, then it might be worth looking into. It might, if it's in your marketing budget and it does, either to one or two of these things, then yes, I mean, that might be something worth looking into or even trying. So before you do anything, I'm going to help you cure yourself of SOS. And I don't know if anybody's heard this term yet, but I'm going to cure you of your SOS. And you might not know you're doing this, but most of you might be. And SOS is shiny object syndrome. I am a huge I love shiny objects. I have ADD pretty bad. And I think that's why, I'm so creative, because I just keep coming up with new ideas. But people make fun of me all the time. We're in business meetings and I'm just bebopping and you know, coming up with a whole bunch of things. And I'm, shiny object, here's this new thing. Let's try that. I'm always on the go. And that's not always the way you need to run everything, right? I mean, if you see that new tool that, is awesome to post on Facebook, or like I said, it's going to do something fantastic to make your website look a certain way. That might not be what's best for your marketing strategy. So that's why it's important to do all the things we've talked about so far and take a step back before diving into that shiny object that looks awesome and is a reasonable price, right? So, because before you know it, I mean, you might be spending $40 here on that tool, $50 here on that tool, $100 to get a subscription to this thing. That's already $200 a month out of eating at your marketing strategy and your marketing budget. So watch yourself what you're paying for, making sure that it's effective, but effective before anything else. Okay. And do you guys have shiny object syndrome? Because I know I do. I'm totally guilty of it. I will admit it. Do you guys do this, or have you done it, or do you know anybody that is? We have a lot of yeses. Yes, I don't know if it's a real estate agent thing or if it's just me and you guys, but yeah, there's a lot of us. Okay. Okay, so I want to ask you this too. What do you want to focus on for your business? Um, what is that thing? I want you to really think about this. Is it video? Maybe you want to, do video marketing this year and record yourself on video, or maybe video your houses, whatever. What is it that you want to focus on? Maybe it's Pinterest. Do you want to be fantastic and have, people look at your Pinterest boards? Maybe it's your Facebook business page. Maybe it's that you love to tweet and you like to be on Twitter. So that's what you want to focus on. Or maybe it's Instagram. I want you to kind of figure out what it is that you want to do, because that's also going to help you figure out where to focus your time and energy. Because if you're never going to log into Twitter, maybe that's not the place that you'll go to, or maybe you'll just use it for its perks. I mean, that's what we kind of do for our agents. We use each thing for its perk, and then we focus on the thing that the agent, is really going to want to use. So typically it's Facebook or maybe Pinterest or videos or whatever. It's whatever you want to focus on. So if you've ever thought about, maybe none of this is up your alley. I don't know. Maybe it's just your website, or maybe it's just, focusing on getting a ton of leads and converting them. Whatever it is, think about what it is you want to focus on for your business. All right, we went over a lot and I gave you a lot to think about, so I always like to recap. So we set your goals, right? We have those questions in place that need to be completed by the next webinar, so you kind of stay on the same page with everything. Setting your goals is very important. Creating a recognizable brand is another thing that is very important to go for before we continue. And then starting your marketing outline. Everything we kind of went over, I want you to figure out, okay, does it work my sphere or does it work new business? What does it do? And what, if not, then don't do it, right? So that's the start of your outline. How is it going to get me either one of those things? Okay, so we've talked about branding. Like I said, we're going to go a little bit slow. Some stuff is kind of combined. But if I'm going too fast or if you have questions, let me know and we'll kind of assess them at the end. But we've been over branding, which is one pillar of the 8 pillars we're going to review. We're going to start talking about another one. We're not going to be able to finish it in this hour, but I want to get it started because it's hard. Websites are a huge part of any business. Again, we're going to take a general marketing strategy and tweak it for you, the real estate agent. And so, websites, absolutely. If you do not have one, you definitely should. And here is why. Every time we talk to an agent, like I said, we kind of interview them in the way that we're interviewing all of you. This packed house of everybody on this webinar, we're just going to do a massive interview with you. So everything we've been over, we ask our agents ourselves. And if you are an agent of ours, hello and welcome. And we've asked we've asked you these questions, right? We've gone through these same steps with you, right? So we've added this website piece into everything and made it a bigger focus in this because if we don't build it or if you already have one or maybe you don't, wherever you're at right now, you need to know a few things about websites. So here are common statements that we get. Once we're interviewing the agent, we ask them these questions and then we come to the website, right? We ask them about their website. And these are the 3 or 4 statements that we get. I spend a ton of money on my website, but it doesn't do anything. Literally, we get that all the time. And websites can be expensive. And I actually have an agent we're working with now. Actually, it's a brokerage. They spent 14 grand on their website and they're looking to redo it because it's not doing anything that they need it to do. That's a lot of money to just kind of throw down into the trash. So that's one we get a lot, unfortunately. Another thing is, my site is outdated. It doesn't do, it's not functioning on a mobile site, or it has outdated information, or I don't know how to edit it. It's just outdated. Another one is they are too expensive. I don't want to build my own because I can't spend thousands on a new website. Or, I have a template site from my brokerage as a common one we get. A lot of companies and brokerages are offering websites and templates, which is fine. And I'm just going to make sure that we go through the things that your website needs to have today in order to excel at the best rate it possibly can. Or the infamous, I don't need a website. And I'm here to tell you that I don't care if you do 5 closings a year or 105 closings a year, or maybe it's 505 if you're a crazy agent. Whatever that is, everybody needs to have some kind of online presence. And here is absolutely why. Your website, no matter which one you have, if you have an outdated one or a template one, or you've built your own and you can't use it, or if you have a beautiful new website, wherever you're at, wherever you are right now, your website should absolutely do these things. I want you to look at it as your hub. So, it has your branding, it reaches out to the people you're trying to target as clients, those few cities that you're targeting, those people that you're targeting. It looks like your brand, all those things are in your website, right? You have all the pieces in there that you can actually use your website. A lot of agents don't even use their site, which is crazy. I mean, your site should be essentially your sales page. Why should people choose you, or why should they go to your site? What are they going there for? What value can they get there? It should be your hub. And I'm going to help you kind of figure out what that looks like. And I can even show you some examples of what that looks like as well. But it should also be able to generate leads. If your website is not getting you leads right now, there's something wrong. And it could be a tiny tweak. It could be a simple call to action button in a small spot, or it could be that it's not mobile, or it could be something very tiny, or it could be something very big. I mean, it just depends. But if you're not getting leads, you should be able to generate some sort of leads from any website. It should absolutely have a built-in blog. And if you've ever been, which most agents are kind of iffy about even starting a blog is not something to be afraid of. You should embrace it and capitalize on this awesome free tool. I will tell you, we blog more for agents than we do for our company. We do one blog a week for most of our agents, and we post it to their website or their blog, and we do it weekly. So we do it more often for them than we do for us. But the short amount of time that we actually do it for us, we pick the key topics that are very important, use the right keywords. We send a blog to our website and we post it onto our website. Then we send that same blog out to all the social media sites. And I will tell you, our blogs and the blogs for our clients bring in more traffic than if we were to just, not blog or, not have any value on a website. So a blog is, yes, it needs to be updated. Yes, it has to have the right keywords. And yes, it absolutely adds value to your website. And that's my next thing. It needs to offer value. So a blog can take care of many of these things, that we're going to go over in the 8 pillars. So your website is your hub. It needs to be the central part of how you market your brand, your how you generate leads, how you have an online presence. It's your hub, and everything else will be built off of that. So wherever you are on your website, if you're happy with it, if you dislike it, or if you need to change it, or if you just want to start to think about what you want your website to be, that's going to be something that's very important to your entire strategy. And I know I'm sounding really intense, but I've seen agents go from an outdated template, non-lead generating site to a brand new site. Actually, the website example I showed you, she had Krager Real Estate had an old website that I don't think it was mobile friendly, but it was very outdated. Some of the links were hard to read. So, anyways, we redid the whole website, and we just pulled her stats earlier today. And her project manager looked over at me and said, her website traffic just shot through the roof. That is what a blog can do. That is what a well laid out marketing plan can do. It can absolutely transform your business. So it's very important. I know I can't stress enough how your website is your hub, and it absolutely needs to represent you with your brand. So I want to know, does yours do that right now? You can pop it in the chat box, yes or no, but I want to know if yours does any of this. If it does, awesome. You're on the right page. If not, then kind of mark down, what you would like to see in a website or what you need to change. Maybe, again, it could be a teeny tweak. It could be something so tiny, like a call to action or something that does, lead generates for you. Or it could be a call to action that offers an item of value. Or it could be you changing something to, make it more branded to you. Whatever that is. I mean, it could be very small, or you can go crazy and get a new website, however you want to do this, but it needs to be all of these things because it can be. And that's what we see work for our agents. Okay, so again, I showed you that example, and I can pull it up at the end as well so you can kind of see, what that looks like. And if you just redid your website and it's rocking for you, absolutely show me. I mean, pop your website in the chat box. I'm happy to give you some free publicity and possibly some referrals from other agents across the country. Okay, so again, I want to take a step back and wait a second because I'm not telling you, I'm going to repeat that. I am not telling you to get a new website. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that your website has to have key features in it that we know work, that you're willing to put into your marketing strategy. And I'm just giving you those ideas in this slide. These are all the things that it should be doing and could be doing. But I'm not telling you to go out right now and dump your current website and get a new one. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you it could be a tiny tweak. I'm telling you maybe you need to. I mean, if it's from the 90s and it's not mobile, maybe you should look at getting a new one. But that's not what I'm telling you right now. So I want to make that clear. I'm not saying to buy a new website today or tomorrow or next week. I want you to just absorb what your website could and should be doing. Okay. So we've gone over branding. We've gone a little bit over websites. That's just the beginning. We're going to go over more with websites next week and how that fits into the next piece of the puzzle for the 8 pillars that we'll review. So we've gone over 2 of them sort of today and your starting point. So the next week, we still have listing marketing to cover. How can we use your listings to get you more online exposure, get you more web traffic, and get you more business? How can we do that? We'll show you. How can you use online reviews, and what does that even mean to get more online presence? How does that fit into the puzzle piece of your marketing strategy? Another thing we're going to go over is sphere marketing. This is a whole pillar in and of itself because you can be so successful at it and it could help you decrease your marketing budget. I promise you. If you can just get some referrals, you don't have to really look for as much new business, or maybe you do. Maybe you just get more business from it. So we'll show you a few strategies on that. Social media is a huge part. Any sort of presence, whatever that looks like to you, we're going to cover on how that fits in as well. Blogging, it's going to be its own little thing we're going to chat about, but we're going to dive deeper into how you can use blogs absolutely to get more web traffic, more online exposure, and more business. And the last piece of the whole puzzle is how can all of this, every single piece that you're going to connect the dots with, get you more leads? That's why we're here, right? We're marketing, we're paying, we're for things, we're sitting on webinars because we want to know what we need to be doing to get more business. That is everybody's goal, right? Get it consistently, get more of it, whatever. For you, that might mean whatever it is that means for you. So I want you to know that all of these things are going to come together because we know that's what you want. You want more business. So that's what we're here to help you do. So I want to know if you guys have any questions. I know we went over a lot even in just this first hour. So I want you to kind of pop in the chat box what questions you have for me. And let me know, if you want me to review anything. And I'll give you a minute to kind of do that. And I want to kind of take you back to Kate's website. Like I said, I'm just going to pop it in the chat box for you guys so you can look at it whenever you want to. But this one is the one that got her stats. I'll have to figure out exactly what it was from before and to now, and I'll share that with you guys next week because it was huge. It was a huge jump in all of it just from connecting a few dots, and that's the impact you guys can have as well. Okay, so we're at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, so you guys have been here for an entire hour. I want to know, and I meant to ask this in the beginning, but I want to know, look at your screen one more time, and I want to know if you even started to plan for 2014. Have you started to, put together your goals, put together your business plan? Is that something you do every year, or is it just something you kind of fly by the seat of your pants and, try to get as much as you can at all times? What kind of agent are you? Do you plan, or have you not planned for this year? All right, we've got a lot that voted. I'll wait a couple more seconds to close the poll. All righty. So 58% say yes. So it's almost 50-50, but more of you have planned, which is perfect. So you're already kind of on this path, right? You might already have most of these questions answered. You might have already had some of these things started, or maybe you just completed your branding. Wherever you are, the next thing I want you to do is, like I said, look for an email from me. It will have, like I said, that PDF so you guys can start to answer all those questions and get down to the nitty gritty before we start to really dive into all of the rest of the things that we're going to cover in these next 4 weeks. So yeah, I'm going to stick around and answer any questions you guys have. Thank you so much. We still have a packed house. Everybody stayed on the whole hour. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know it's hard to do because it's a busy time of year. And depending on where you are, the time of day might be, a little crazy as well. It's 3 o'clock here in Ohio. So let me know again what questions you have. Thank you so, so, so much for coming. And next week, we're going to keep on this path. I'm going to help you connect these dots. We're going to continue to cover, what we need to do to get you guys a cohesive marketing strategy using the key parts of real estate marketing. So, our underlining strategy with any and everything we do is we have 3 goals in mind. One is to generate more web traffic because it's your hub, it's your central part. We need you to get more web traffic. So, how are we going to do that? We need you to get more online presence. So, what are we going to take advantage of to get you out there? So, if somebody Googles something, or if somebody's trying to find an agent in an area, or if somebody's trying to Google your name specifically, how can we get them to find you in the proper way? We want you to maximize your online exposure. The third thing is to generate new business. So, depending on what your goals are, what kind of agent you want to be, or what kind of business you want this year, that's going to determine what that means. So, more business to you might mean 10 more closings this year, like I mentioned in the beginning. Or it might mean, you want more referrals. Or it might mean you need X amount of leads to deliver to your team this year. Whatever it is, just know what it is. No, that's the hardest part, is knowing what it is you want to do. Okay, so let me dive into these questions from you guys. Okay, so I know I delivered a lot, so I'm gonna kind of sift through all of this with you guys, and we're gonna keep trucking along. Okay. Oh, Joe said, yes, he's kind of flying by the seat of his pants. That's not bad. That's not bad at all, because I mean, some agents that works absolutely fine. Some agents need to be more structured because that's just how they think. But yeah, I mean, some agents that is perfectly fine. Okay. We have a couple of people. Oh, thanks, Alex. Looking forward to the next session. Hi, Kathy. I was looking for your number yesterday. I wanted to give you a call about classes, so I'll call you later today. Um, Perfect. Awesome. So we have a lot of people just, you know, saying that they took in a lot, that they got a lot. Um, Oh, a lot of people are saying that I'm just kind of skimming through everything. They do have SOS syndrome, the shiny object syndrome. I'm telling you, it's hard with everything out there, right in front of your face, and how strategic online marketing has gotten. I mean, if just for example, this is how crazy it is. I wear glasses, so I was on a website looking at glasses because they send you your first pair free. And so I was looking at it thinking, oh, maybe I'll try this. And ordering my glasses online is scary, right? And then for a good week after that, I was on Facebook, working, or personal reasons, or I was on any website, and I kept seeing an ad for those glasses. So, I mean, marketing has gotten very sophisticated and strategic, and a little scary at times if you don't even know that you want that thing. I mean, they know that you're their client or their customer, so their ad will show up on Facebook or Google or wherever. It's insane. So it is hard to avoid the shiny object syndrome because marketing is working. It works because they want you to click on that thing and to try that thing and pay $40 a month for that thing, but it might not be the best thing for your business. Um, Perfect. Awesome. Well, I don't know. I don't see any questions. If I missed it, let me know. But I think, um, oh, John, you're hilarious. He said, sorry, I was watching a shiny object. That's too funny. Some people saying the costs do add up fast. Yes, Connie, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, okay. Wendy, I'm reading your comment right now. Um, Okay, question. Wendy has a question, and it says, as a new business person, it's difficult to have referrals or repeat business. Definitely understand that. And with an international business, I don't include my family, friends, and my marketing. Am I selling myself short? I think this is a really, really good question for a couple of reasons. One, you're asking a key question, should you include your family and friends in your marketing? Another question is, you know, you're a new business person, which is also an obstacle in and of itself. So, when you're in a new, I'm assuming you're an agent. If you're a broker or a company, let me know. But as a new agent in the business, I mean, I've been through that twice. I relocated to a different city and had to start from the bottom up. And that's actually how this business was born. But I think, relying on to get you started, use all your connections. I mean, that's what has worked in the past that I've seen agents really flourish from a few things. One, and that's one is using your family and friends and people to make them aware of what it is you do, who you work with, and where you work, and let them know that you're an agent. Because if they don't know that you're an agent, you could be possibly missing out on easy business, because they know you, they trust you, and they just want to work with somebody they know and trust, to do real estate with them or to help them buy or sell a home. So I don't know. I think adding your family and friends will never hurt. It depends on what family and friends. I guess you can kind of narrow down what that looks like for you. But absolutely, I encourage people to, work their sphere. Absolutely. Their past clients, current clients, and friends and family and people Absolutely. But even, I know I can understand it would be difficult as a new person. That was one of the struggles that I had starting over in a new city where I knew nobody. Knowing nobody is pretty hard, if you don't know the areas very well, you don't really know a lot of people to kind of get you started. You have to really kind of rely on cold calling and, leads or referrals from other agents or helping agents out or, taking, rental leads or anything you'll get your hands on, right? To start building those relationships. So as a new agent, I would just encourage you to get out there as much as you can, be involved in as much as you can, get your name out and do whatever you need to do to kind of start getting the first few sales under your belt. Whether you're in a new city or you're brand new to the business, I mean, start somewhere. And you do. In real estate, it's not easy. I mean, one of my friends actually just got her license and she's working her tail off because she knows it's not easy and she, wants to make it work. So she's working hard to build her own sphere and her own, database that she can follow up with, to continue to build her sphere. So I hope that helps. I hope I kind of answered your question. Let me know if I didn't, and I'm going to keep looking through all of these. So thanks, Wendy, for your question. Okay, keep looking through. No, I'm not going to email it to you right now. I'm going to wait till after the webinar and then give that over to you guys. There's still a ton of people on the webinar, so let me know if you guys have any questions. The notes, the slides, yes, I'm going to record this so you guys can watch it later, and I'll give you the recording. And yeah, so the slides, no, but the recording, yes. All right, let me go back down, see if there's any new questions for you guys. Wendy, did I get all your questions? I just saw you said you have a couple of questions. Let me know if I didn't answer all of those. Oh, thanks, Karen. See you later. Okay, perfect. So I think that's all the questions. Not too many, not too many at all. I know I kind of hit a lot. So if you guys come next week with more questions, absolutely let me know. But other than that, thank you so, so much for coming. I appreciate you guys being here and sharing this hour and now 10 minutes with me. So I will, again, look for an email with the recording and a PDF, and I will see you next week with your completed questions, right? And answers and kind of thoughts about your website, or if you don't have one, what you would like your website to be and do. And then we'll go from there. So make sure you stay with it for the next 3 weeks because we're going to cover everything you need to know and then some when it comes to building this. And it's nice to do it now, even though it's starting to pick up. The real estate market is actually, here in Ohio, we have really low inventory. I don't know how you guys are, but our inventory is low here. So it is a seller's market for sure. And our listings that we're marketing are just selling, within the week or within the month. So it's getting crazy and busy. So now is the time to do this before May hits, before you really start to rock out, through the summer, before the kids get out of school and you have even less time to do what you need to do, right? So make sure that you do the work now. Do the work now, and then it's easy to tweak it when you need to tweak it. So that's what we're going to help you do. All right, I'll stop talking because I continue to talk and if you let me. So I will let you guys go. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your kind comments. I love knowing that everybody, is getting something from this. And I will see you guys next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks, guys. Have a great week.